you all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pursuant to Section 5, Chapter 231, Public Laws of 1975, this is to state for the record that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided to the public by posting and maintaining the annual notice of the regular meetings on the bulletin board in the municipal building and by providing a copy of the annual notice of the regular meetings for the year 2016 to the Glen paper, the Glen Voice, the Montclair Times, and the Star Ledger on Tuesday, January 5th, 2016, and by filing said notice in the office of the municipal clerk. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilperson Hughes.
Here.
Sovich. Here. Leftwich is absent. Councilperson Dawson.
Here.
Murphy.
Here.
Morrow.
Here.
The mayor is present. The mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Michael. Are there any written communications?
Yes. Received a letter from the Glen Ridge Seniors on the Circle regarding the program provided by Hackensack Mountainside for the program. And also we received intent of a file application on behalf of Will Falls and also Great Falls Corporate LLC. And that concludes the response.
File correspondence, please. We have Jeff Marcello from Lawrence here tonight. So Jeff, do you have something you'd like to do? Yeah, absolutely, please.
So,
Is it on?
Yeah. That's all.
It's on.
I think it's on.
okay. So we have, as you all know, we have the reception for peer reviews. And so I told Art and to Michael this morning, I'm going to give you some very quick background so you appreciate the importance and honor of the plaque we're going to sell. The celebration of volunteers started in the 80s with Don Lane. We had 6 mayors, the Sims, plus Joe Connolly. Joe Connolly was Peter, and Michael had asked us to run a special event, which was similar to what we run for the mayor. The reason why we started it way back in the early 80s is that we wanted to start. We know that the mayor has somewhat of a full-time job running the town. And at that time, we saw Don Lane, who was in a town controversy, basically spending his 40 hours a week in his building. So we wanted to honor the mayor. At the same time, we were trying to figure out how we could build volunteerism in the town. So we had to honor the mayor, and we settled for the celebration of volunteerism, which is how that name came about. So the way we decided to do it to get a lot of participation is we got all the organizations in town to participate. So until 2 mayors ago, all the food was donated by the organizations in town, who then encouraged their members to attend, which then filled the halls, which made it a grand event. So, this year, the reason for the plaque, I just wanted to mention that one. So the reason for the plaque, what we wanted to do was we wanted to have some memory that would be somewhat of an indelible memory, different from your basketball trophy, but something that would be so different that your friends could become part of, essentially, for as long as that mayor wanted to display that plaque. So by having the signature of a couple of hundred people who like and respect you and really wanted to have their name on your plaque, it sort of lasts forever. So the point was for it to be a distinguishable, different kind of a memento for the gift. So the last thing I want to say is, I personally have had the opportunity since the mid-'80s to be one of the Kiwanis sitting down collecting all these signatures. So this year, following true to form, I was one of the Kiwanis sitting down, and I just have to tell you that in most past years, if you want to be able to get the people to sign, you get some to sign it coming in, and then we're essentially rounding up everybody to make sure we get all those signatures. And this is the only year I can remember that wasn't the case. People were essentially lining up because they wanted their name on Peter's flat. So we probably had the line 8 to 10 long at one time. It has never happened before. So on behalf of the town, I'd like to applaud you and thank you for the wonderful gift you've given us for your 8 years.
Peter.
Okay, so this is the plaque. The residents signed it on a piece of paper, and we have etched into this plaque, so you can't erase it. Thanks. So enjoy this plaque, and bless you.
Here, she's going to take a picture.
Oh.
Yeah.
That picture? Okay.
There you go.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And we also have 2 letters there from Congressman Payne and the Assembly from New Jersey. The governor, okay. And then the other one he already got one of them, yeah. So congratulations on that also.
Well, I thank the Kiwanis Group and the town and the council for all this.
And the Rotary.
And the Rotary, of course.
Thank you, Jeff. This is time for comments from the public. Is there anybody here that would like to be heard? Please come forward and give us your name and address, please. Feel right at the microphone, please. Thank you.
I'm Jennifer Dreska. I live at 147 Highland Ave. And I'm here to request an amendment to the parking ordinances that are having an undue burden on me. I'm not sure exactly how to do it. I've had extensive conversations with Lieutenant Tim Brania, who's tried to work with me on this, but apparently the ordinances are not in my favor. The only thing that I can do is appear before the council and ask for a change. Apparently, and I believe the ordinance that I would be asking for a change in is 10.35.030D. But it's hard to tell because not everything on the website is up to date, so I don't know if there's things beyond that I don't know about. But where I live on Highland Ave, I'm on the side of the street where there's no parking anytime. And on the opposite side of the street is permit parking between 7 and 5. And I've asked to get a permit, and I've been told that I'm not on a list. I don't know where the list is or how to get it, but I'm not on the list. My house number is not on there. I'm really basically the only house that faces on Highland Ave there. And I've also been told that, so 1035.030D refers to the parking permits that are available to the employees of 123 and 200 Highland Ave, 2 medical buildings. I think there are different ways to read the ordinance, but the way the lieutenant reads it is that only employees from those buildings can get a permit. I think it could also be meant to say that only employees in those buildings that have a permit can park there, but he said he can't interpret the ordinance. Also, I would say that there is a construction ordinance that talks about construing ordinances to be most favorable to the purposes that are the purposes of justice and.
May I interrupt for just a second,
Yes,
Mayor, if I
absolutely.
may? So what would you like us to do?
I need to either have this amended so that it's clear that as a resident on that street I can get the permit.
Right.
Or find out how to amend that list with house numbers on it.
What is it you need, though, for your...
Look, I think there's probably a relatively easy solution here, Mike.
We could look into it. Actually, you're referring to 2 different ordinances. One is the hospital zone parking,
Right.
which is Hathaway, Laurel. We'll look at your areas why it's no parking, and then the last option is to include your house in the permits that are available for, I think, 200 Highland.
Okay.
I'm sure, go ahead.
There's a solution, yeah, we'll just have to see which one.
Yeah.
What times do you need to park there that you can't right
The
now?
most difficult time is like between like 7 and 9:30 or 10. I have 3 grown children that drive, and they have school and work schedule, so I just need like a little bit of flexibility to be able to pull cars onto that like street across, across on them for an hour or so. Sometimes when people are getting ready and getting out of the house.
So you mostly park in your driveway, but you have to jockey cars around.
Yeah, I'm constantly like moving things, and there's even on Laurel it's only 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and so I can go there until 8, but it just becomes very crazy trying to keep the cars around. And nobody, and I've seen pictures the last few days, there's nobody parking there, it's like empty.
I'm just trying to, which house is 147 Highland?
It's
Where are
like
you?
Nobody can ever find it, because it's the only residence that actually faces, on that street. If I'm facing 200,
Right.
and there's Laurel
Oh,
over
okay,
here.
I got you,
I'm
all right.
just
So you're
one-
north of the bridge. You're north of the bridge.
Yes.
Yeah,
Correct,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Right next to
Right, I'm right next to 123.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right, thank you.
Look,
Okay.
we'll figure something out. What's the best, I'm sorry, Mayor, what's the best way, Mike, for her to resolve this?
Tell you what, let me look what's the easiest, and Lieutenant Miranda has all your contact information, I'll give you a call, and we'll go over different.
Yeah, I
There's
can't-
2 or 3 different options to resolve this, we'll see which one works out easiest.
Right.
I don't see why
Would you
she
need a
couldn't be
permit
under
for
it.
more than one car, or,
Well-
I mean, that's...
No, it's just, it's a house number, it would be a house number.
The
It's
homeless
looking to
doesn't
be
fit into
included.
either
Right.
area, there's residential versus hospital, so.
Yeah, she caught you in between.
Yeah,
different
there's-
uses. I understand what the situation is. You're caught between the hospital use, the office building, and then you have residential, the easy use. So you just have to figure a way to get you into one of the zones.
Mike, how soon could we get this resolved?
We could have an ordinance on for the next meeting, that would be July 11th. And what the chief could do is, based on that introduction, give temporary parking privileges until it's approved in August.
Does that work for you?
Yeah, I mean, can that temporary thing, can the temporary parking start, now?
Let me see, the chief is at a conference this week, and when she comes back on Monday, I'll speak to her.
Okay, so I should contact you just.
Correct.
Okay, all right, thank you very much, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. There are no further comments, I see, so.
Don't feel you have to stay for the meeting either.
Okay. I just think talking.
But we won't stop you from staying, though.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Send Michael a note about what, if you were to write it out yourself, what you would like it to do.
Okay, so get ready to send.
Yeah, just send him an
You go on the
email,
webpage, wherever you have my name, I have a link to my email.
Okay, all right.
and just what it would be, what you need, basically.
Okay, yes, I will, thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry, I got ahead of this. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting of June 13th.
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you, Peter. Please call the roll.
Councilperson Hughes,
Aye.
Shelby,
Aye.
Dawson,
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays, motion's carried.
I'd like to thank Dan and his committee, and Michael Brohol, Mike Zucchelli, and everybody else who worked to make the Fitzgerald Lager run yesterday a fantastic success. I think by all reports, it was a very, very extremely successful event. It was a great day for the race. It was good to see the growth of the kids' portion of it, the junior portion, and I think everybody enjoyed themselves and had a great time. I know that Dan will comment on this more, so I'm not going to jump on it, but thanks, Dan. It's a good example of volunteerism.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Mayor, appreciate the comment.
Way to go, Dan.
There you go.
Okay, Peter?
Mayor, if I may start, I'd like to wish a happy birthday to Councilperson Anne Marie Morrow.
Perfect.
Happy birthday. She'll kill me for that later, I'm sure. And otherwise, I have a resolution for you, Mayor. Resolution, I guess it's going to be 8916, is that correct? For the authorized payment of bills. I move the resolution.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilperson Hughes,
Aye.
Palovich,
Aye.
Dawson,
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays, resolution is approved.
And I have a second resolution, Mayor. This must be 90-16. Whereas the tax collector of the Borough of Glen Ridge in consultation with...
Assessor. Oh, excuse me. Oh. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Whereas the tax collector and the chief financial officer of the Borough of Glen Ridge have both signed a certification detailing the range of permitted estimated tax levies and the tax rate thereon. And whereas it would be in the best interest of the Borough of Glen Ridge for the tax collector pursuant to state law to send out estimated tax bills for the third quarter of 2016. Now therefore be resolved by the Mayor and Borough Council, Borough of Glen Ridge, that the tax collector is hereby authorized and directed to send estimated tax bills, and be further resolved that the estimated tax rate for the third quarter 2016 tax bills will be set at $3.504, 3.504 per thousand. Mayor, I move the resolution.
Do I hear a second?
I second the motion.
Paul? Any discussion? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Councilperson Hughes.
Aye.
Palovich.
Aye.
Dawson.
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays. The resolution is approved.
And Mayor, this is just a placeholder for us. We're waiting, we have some concern that whether or not these rates are going to be set by the state, and that our budget will be certified in time. So we want to preserve the opportunity to send out estimated tax bills if needed.
Thank you.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Paul?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I have two brief items. One is ordinance number 1645 for first reading. Michael?
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, just say for the record that
Oh,
it's the first reading.
First reading.
oh, this is first reading. Okay, so we
Yeah.
need a second.
Do you want me to title?
Yeah, this is it's an ordinance regarding the regulations for Clark Street. As a matter of fact, what it does is it will make the parking regulations on the street consistent with the hours of pool operation during the year.
Mayor, I'll second.
Thank you, Peter. Is there any discussion on this ordinance? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilperson Hughes.
Aye.
Palovich.
Aye.
Dawson.
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays. The ordinance is passed on first reading.
Thank you. I refer ordinance number 1645 to the municipal clerk for the purpose of statutory publication, posting.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I also have by way of a consent agenda, resolutions number 91-16 to 95, or 96-16. The following items are considered to be routine and will be acted on with a single motion. If any discussion is requested on a consent agenda item, it will be removed from the consent agenda to the regular agenda. All consent agenda items will be reflected in full in the minutes. Mr. Mayor, I move the consent agenda.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Mayor, it is through 9516. Are we not including the appointment of Focasio as borough physician within this, or are we?
I think we were. I certainly.
I have it here.
See up here, it says 91 to 95, and then 96 is an appointment.
That was added after the agenda was.
All right, so we're going to do 96?
Yeah, somebody said
Okay.
96.
Can I just ask a question? Who is William Focasio, and why do we need a borough physician?
Okay, that actually comes from the police department for a physical, and I think the captain could speak of it. I believe the police department has been using this position for a number of years, and we're just awarding it by resolution. They're making the appointment.
Anytime we hire anyone, they get sent to physicals, and we've chosen Dr. Fazio, who's been around long enough. But yeah, we will send them to Dr. Fazio, we trust him, he's in our position forever, and he reports back whether, they pass the physical and so on. Also, if there's any issues that arise with employees while they're employed, we bill, and the department deems that they need to be sent to a physician, we'll send them to Dr. Fazio.
Does he come if you got a prisoner that has a problem too, or
No,
how do you do that?
Just going to the tax that we use them for new hires and fitness to duty examinations.
Yeah.
How do we do stuff with prisoners if somebody has a problem when they're...
We bring them to the hospital.
Well, so why does he need an appointment for that? Does he need an appointment? Is this just just
The
acknowledging?
chief requested that we add it by resolution, just so they have it on, we're confirmed that that's our position for the police department. So the chief has been utilizing, I believe, Chief Magnier used it previously. He may need to go back to Chief Wallen this time.
Okay.
point out, since we've discussed that, the other items in the consent agenda concern the purchase of a 2017 police interceptor utility vehicle and the renewal of the liquor license.
Please call roll.
Councilperson Hughes?
Just a quick second.
Yes.
I agree with you, I'm not sure.
Mayor, honestly, I just raised a question. I don't know why we need a borough physician. I mean, it just, the chief wants it, okay, I get it, but we have other doctors on the Board of Health, and we have, we have a lot of doctors that live in town. Why are we singling one out as being the borough physician? I mean, I'm not going to them.
Michael, I think in view of the questions that are being asked, which we don't have the answers for, maybe we ought to table that resolution.
We could,
Yeah.
based on the definition, since there is discussion on the item, and it should be pulled from the consent agenda.
Would you
as a
mind?
matter of rule.
No, I don't mind.
Would you mind?
Yeah, so
We'll pull it.
we'll revisit, pull it for today, and we'll revisit.
Right.
So 9616 is
That's pulled.
It's going for pull.
And the minutes will reflect that there was a discussion about that, we spoke on the consent agenda.
Okay, with
Okay, so
that,
then it goes back to the original.
9116 to 9516.
Okay.
with that adjustment, we now call for roll.
Okay, Councilperson Hughes.
Aye.
Pasovich.
Aye.
Dawson.
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays, the consent agenda is approved.
And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Paul. Dave is not here, so Art.
Okay, I don't have a formal report, but I have some activity list of what we've done. The Parks crew's been wrapping up the fields for the spring sports and preparing them for summertime activities. The Borough Arborist has been preparing a list of trees for removal this summer. The list is currently being reviewed by the Shade Tree Commission. Once complete, the project will go out to bid. The road crew's been busy patching potholes. We bought 6 tons of asphalt so far, and all the staff participated in the logger run held this past Sunday. So thanks to all the people that helped make this a great event. On Fridays from July 15th to August 26th from 6:30 to 9 a.m., the Glen Ridge Library will be popping up at the Glen Ridge train station. You'll be able to borrow from popular collections right on the spot. Plus, if you contact the library by Thursday afternoon, they'll bring your books that you requested for pickup at the pop-up. So please leave yourself an extra 10 minutes. Grab your stuff before you grab the train. This is sponsored by the Friends of the Library and Jack's Superfood Town of Bloomfield. Mr. Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Art, for the report. Dan?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have one ordinance and a brief report. First, the ordinance, Mr. Mayor. I have ordinance number 1643 for final reading. It's an ordinance to appropriate capital improvement funds for various capital improvements and equipment.
Mr. Mayor, just to state for the record that this ordinance has been properly posted and advertised in accordance with the state statute.
I declare this meeting open for discussion of this ordinance and only this ordinance, this being the time and place for the public hearing. Would anybody like to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, I declare this public hearing closed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Also, Mr. Mayor, my brief statement, we don't put that for a vote under the...
Yes, second reading.
It is second
You
final
should move
reading.
that the ordinance be finally passed.
I move then that I move then that the ordinance be finally passed. Mr.
Do I hear a second?
Also,
Thank you, Anne Marie. Before we move on, is there any further discussion among the council members on this one?
Could I just get the amount?
If the amount is $360,000.
360?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not the other amount.
Michael, this is 320.
No, there was amended in order, we had talked about increasing the scope of the project, 2 things. One, when we were excavating, we discovered basically we only have 2 or 3 inches of topsoil over most of the field. It was almost like hard pan for the rest of the field. So we have trenches that the Army Corps installed throughout the whole field about every 10 feet. In order to improve the conditions on the eastern end, besides doing the excavation, what we're going to do is excavate over the laterals which aren't really working now because there's no way the water percolates down. We're going to just uncover and install a blend of a dressing at 60% sand, 20% peat, and 20% topsoil. We're also taking down the backstop, and we're also putting the irrigation system. We were going to do the irrigation system under a separate contract, and we decided it's better that the contractor is on site to it so that we don't interfere with his schedule.
But the amendment occurred before we introduced it for first reading.
It occurred after.
So we introduced at 320?
We introduced 320, it's amended tonight to 360.
And we can do that.
Correct.
I'm in favor of getting the work done, I just want to make sure that we're doing it the right way.
Yeah, clearly.
You've heard the motion of Councilperson Murphy, seconded by Councilperson Morrow. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilperson Hughes.
Aye.
Pasovich.
Aye.
Dawson.
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays. The ordinance is passed on final reading.
And, Mr. Mayor, part of my report was that additional information with regard to the remediation of the chronic drainage problem that we have at the park, and since that's been addressed by Mr. Rojo, I just have to add that the mulch is going to be added to the playground equipment, and that project should be done by the end of this week. So perhaps we could have a ribbon ceremony for the kids to start to play on the new playground equipment, which looks fantastic. And secondly, Sunshine Construction has completed the sprucing up of the field house, which was in dire need of sprucing up, and they're doing a really wonderful job. Exterior trim work has been patched and painted, and interior received a fresh coat of paint, and the sink fixtures have been replaced with newer energy saving faucets. And I think Carteret is going to be a park that we can all once again be proud of, once all the projects are complete. And then secondly, earlier today I emailed all of you, and I just wanted to read part of that email that I sent out with regard to the Fitzgerald's 1928 Lager Run and what a success that was. In addition to that, the Lunar Mile, which was also a success. I'll just read through this. Yes, this was the best year ever for the event. As the volunteers, along with the Glen Ridge Community Fund volunteers, the GRDPW, GRPD, the GRVAS, Michael Roholm, Michael Zucchelli, Paul Brewster, and the Fitzgerald's crew all work together like a well-oiled machine. Folks know what to do and simply make a difficult-to-produce event happen seamlessly. Our little borough shined, and social media simply lit up with the praise of Fitzgerald's Lager and the Zunar Mile. And thanks to all of you, as collectively you are this race director's dream team. And some statistics, we had 1,157 participants in the 5K event, which was a record. Breakdown is 601 male, 556 female. We had 267 Glen Ridge residents in the 5K, which was 23% of the field, which is pretty remarkable if you think about it. What else? The Zunar Mile had 82 participants, which is an 86% increase over last year's total, which is almost double. And I believe the Zunar Mile will continue to grow, and I expect the Lager Run will grow too. Both races had many more registered runners. It's typical that some pre-registered runners simply don't show up on race day for a variety of reasons. And I believe the net proceeds of the event, which is why this event is produced in the first place for the Glen Ridge Community Fund, which is the beneficiary of the net proceeds, will also be a record, as I was able to bring down some of the expenses. And Mr. Mayor, that concludes this councilperson's report for this evening.
Again, that's a tremendous enterprise and a tremendous result.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dana.
I'd like to just briefly comment on that and the Thanksgiving Day 8K. I guess that started out as the turkey trot back, I don't know how many years, that was running
Oh, yeah.
a long time.
Yeah, I went to the race director who, Leonard Joy, was his
Okay.
name, and back in '98, I said to him, or '97, I said, whenever you're ready, I'm ready to step in. And I took that race over, and it was fun, and it made it into the Passion Pelter 8K Classic.
Which has done remarkably well for the Educational Foundation. And this didn't even exist, did it?
Well,
Or it was sort of
well,
a little tiny thing?
Now, there was a void created when the Sunset Classic stopped serving beer. And I recognized that as an opportunity. So I created the Fitzgerald's 1928 lager run in conjunction with Fitzgerald's being open, and this is the 10th running of the event. Fitzgerald wasn't open 10 years ago, but somehow we managed the race, and we had about 400 participants our first year, which is great because, you know, if you want to attract runners, the carrot's got to be barley beverage. You know, it's a wonderful
But,
carrot.
you know, more than that, I mean, you know, it was all just, I mean, it's great we had a lot of local people, but, I mean, we had to go for the A8K and for this race now, you've got some, you know, some heavy, serious amateurs.
Yeah, we had one woman, she was remarkable, she ran a 16:37, which they measure that in terms of percentile of top Olympic athletes being 100%. She was at 90%. She was 38 years old. She flew through the course. She was 5th overall. She smashed the record, the previous record by
What about
probably by a
the
minute.
fellow that ran in, or won the male portion of it? He came in at least 2 minutes ahead of the next person. as
Yeah,
far as
he-
I could
He
see.
took the subway.
He wasn't. He seemed. Yeah, he did Ruiz. No, he seemed like he was 2 minutes ahead, but he was about a minute ahead. He was fast,
Very fast.
but he didn't break the record. And the reason he didn't break the record is because he wasn't challenged. He really ran unopposed. The only challenge was probably holding him back was the motorcycle cops couldn't move fast enough. They couldn't get out of his way. But he was fast.
He was. I mean,
Good guy, too. And there was one of the faster clubs, because it is a USATF New Jersey event, but one of the faster clubs is boycotting USATF New Jersey for whatever reason. So we didn't get 20 of those guys who would have challenged him for the fastest time. It would have been a little bit more exciting. Wouldn't have added to the coffers that much, but it would have been a little bit more exciting to watch, as opposed to this guy just running by himself along the streets of Ridgewood Avenue.
Amazing,
Yeah,
quite frankly.
yeah, he was good.
But I mean, it's really, the whole running program has gone from, you know, just this little tiny thing to, you know, we're a real recognized destination for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So it's great. Congratulations.
Oh, no, it's a labor of love, and like I couldn't do it without the cooperation of all of the agencies in the police department, the public works department, and the support of the mayor and council. You know, just it's just not the 200 and some odd runners of Glen Ridge that came out. It's the volunteers. It's a true town happening. Somebody called it the unofficial town picnic. We get a lot of participants, and it's fun.
That's great.
But thank you again.
Well said. Anne Marie?
I really have no formal report tonight. At our next council meeting on the 11th, we will have the second public hearing on the Mountainside redevelopment plan. Other than that, I have nothing further to report.
Michael, any new unfinished business?
Yes, we do. We have a resolution to reappoint George Abusi as tax assessor for the borough pursuant to NJSA 54:135.31, effective July 1st. This term will run from July 1st, 2016 to June 30th, 2020. Also, under the state statute, since he's appointed for a second term, the assessor will be granted tenure in the position with the borough of Glen Ridge. And we have that for councilperson to move, Mr. Mayor.
Can I have someone move the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
I'll second.
Thanks, Art. Any discussion on this? Then will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilperson Hughes.
Aye.
Pasovich.
Aye.
Dawson.
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays. Resolution is approved.
John?
I have no report.
Captain?
Just have a few things. Just with regards to the logger run, I mean, I can't emphasize how great it went.
Thanks.
Everyone else has. Yeah, the only issue that came about was one traffic complaint, which is really unheard of, which we took into consideration. So next year, we're just going to have to reconfigure a few of the barricades with minor adjustments. We have bicycle registrations that are continuing throughout the summer. Our detectives are going to be doing, I think, 2 Saturdays in July at the elementary schools. So far, we have around 40 to 50 registered bicycles in town, so it's a good event. People seem to enjoy it, and you know, pictures of the bikes helping for if the bicycles are stolen, we can put it out to all the agencies with serial numbers. And then National Night Out is scheduled for Tuesday, August 2nd. It's going to be at the Glen Community Pool. Hours are going to be 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And that is all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Are we going to have the Montclair fire trucks and all?
Yes.
Great. Kids get a big kick out of it.
This is time for comments from the public. Seeing none, we will not have any comments. Peter, do you have a motion for us?
Mayor, I move that the meeting be adjourned.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, Paul, all those in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned.
Yeah.
Everyone talk to them?
Yeah.
No, no. You get